I wasn't planning on doing a video tonight, but with Claire out at work late and the kids in bed, I thought I haven't got anything actually to do. And also we had a letter from the paediatrician that, to be honest, I'm a little bit miffed about, and I feel like it's a good opportunity to demonstrate how frustrating it can be trying to go through the diagnosis process, because I had a call with a doctor the other week. I did a video about it. I talked about how she said that the test results had come through and demonstrated certain things. You know, I felt like it was quite a positive conversation that we had and that we were making progress. And then looking at her letter, it feels like she's just talking nonsense. She explained that she'd got the ADHD test from the school. It said nothing much was going on. Then they discussed how it's probably not the case, so they redid it, but they've not had it back yet. School said they sent that like weeks ago. She says she called me twice and I didn't answer, which she didn't, and then I called her back and asked for a call back, so she called me back, which she did. We talked about the fact that I said that he has, you know, routines and behaviour difficulties affected by his routines and that kind of thing, which is true. But then she said that I said that the school do not understand his difficulties and he's not getting the appropriate support for his difficulties, and that that's why he's getting aggressive and lashing out. And I kind of read that and thought, that's not how I worded it. I've never once said the school aren't doing a good enough job. I've always maintained that it's just a difficult situation, that the school are doing everything they can to help them and to help him, and that it's just not working because she's not, you know, she's not doing her bit quick enough, and the system isn't working quick enough to get a diagnosis in place so they can do more. You know, I basically said that people have a difficult time understanding him and that it is difficult to come up with solutions, but that the school are trying lots of different things to see what can help. But she's made it sound like I've gone to her and bad-mouthed the school and said they're a nightmare, they're a problem, and blah, blah, blah. So that already annoyed me. But then she said, according to Dad, they've returned their Connors test and Cambridge questionnaire, the AQ one. He has managed to look at the internet and score the Cambridge questionnaire, and he does feel that it has had high scores for his interaction difficulties and that there's a lot of autistic traits. Now, the way I worded it was the AQ test come back with significant autistic traits. Across the board, it wasn't just on interactions with people. That questionnaire, pretty much everything hit the nail on the head, and that's how I explained it to her. She put that, hang on, so I'm trying to read this on the fly because I've read it a couple of times, but she put that she has, so she's implying here she's not had them, she's just taking me at my word. So she says that where are we? So that I feel like he has a lot of autistic traits with mild to moderate aspects of ADHD. So she said that I've done the tests and I've given her my results. So she's saying I looked up the ADHD one as well, and that I've told her that we're on mild to moderate traits. Now, I ran our test results through the internet for the ADHD test, and I told her that I found that he didn't meet any of the thresholds, and that school found the same, and that they were redoing theirs to see whether anything had changed. She told me that the ADHD test that she had read the results of showed that he was over the thresholds, and that when she got our results back, our results showed the same. So I said to her, I'm surprised because everything I read suggested that wasn't the case, and we kind of felt like it didn't really fit. You know, while school kind of did feel it fit, so we were taking their, you know, they're the experts. But now I'm reading this through, and she's saying, because this is to us and the school, but she's basically said, to summarise, that I looked up my results and I've told her he's autistic and I've told her he's got ADHD, and she's going with that based on what I've said. And I'm like, no, you told me that you had the forms through, you'd analysed the results of the forms and you'd come to these conclusions. And one conclusion, the autistic one, autism one had matched my conclusion, but the ADHD one hadn't matched my conclusion. That's the conversation we had, and I you know, and again, I took her word for it because she's the expert. I was like, okay, fine, brilliant, let's crack on. She also mentions that she's asked me to come to their next appointment, and that, you know, I've agreed to do so, but I haven't even got a next appointment. Like, we're waiting for the appointment. This letter was supposed to have the appointment on it, so I'm just like, what on earth? So there's no next appointment yet. And I don't even know whether she's seen a test result from anyone that would give any kind of information. I'm going to ring her tomorrow and I'm going to have a moan because I'm just frustrated. I emailed the school and said I definitely didn't criticise you, because I didn't. I think like they're doing an amazing job in difficult circumstances, and I feel for them. I get that there's definitely more that can be done, and there's plenty of people watching who are saying the school should be doing X, Y, and Z. But I feel this is the third time this doctor's messed me around. Well, it's the fourth time if you count the time she said she didn't receive the documents, and it feels like we perhaps sent them to the wrong place without a stamp on them. But it's just a nightmare so far with her, and a lot of the stuff that she seems to be going by is a really early interaction we had with her, and the conversation Claire had with her, where Claire said that he had no communication problems, and then instantly regretted saying it and went back to her after the fact and said, I made a mistake, he's got tons of communication problems. She seems to be clinging on to that one mistake, and it seems to be undermining things massively, and it's really frustrating that she can't just pull her act together and sort it out. Like, I get that the system's underfunded and the system's a mess and whatever, but my God, this woman doesn't seem to listen. She doesn't seem to take things as they're said, and it's really getting on my nerves, because this is why the system takes 2 years, because people can't just listen to a conversation. Sorry to be negative. I still feel pretty good. Everything's been fine. We had a nice day. School was great. Well, I say great. He had a mixed-ish day, but generally there was no slips, there was no calls. He had a bit of drama with the girl who gave him a Valentine's card because she didn't want to sit with him, and he got all upset, and I'm trying to explain to him that she's still just going to do what she wants. They're not married, and he's saying they are getting married, and I'm like, it's not. So I'm trying to kind of tread the line of not going too serious on him and explaining it all to him, but equally worrying that he'll become a bit kind of, you know, he won't communicate this properly, or he'll become a bit funny about it. And so I'm nervous that the closer we get to Valentine's, the more he's likely to upset himself if he doesn't get cards from this girl again, or I don't know, if they don't get married in their game. It's a bit difficult. He was telling me that they're gonna be together forever, and it's all cute, but I'm like, equally it's worrying that you're gonna get upset, and it's gonna be really hard to explain to you. I'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it, but he's cute. I put on Twitter, if anyone doesn't follow me on Twitter, at RB6K, last night he fell asleep looking at the card he'd got from this girl, and he was all excited about it, so that's really cute. Yeah, he makes me laugh, bless him, he's a cute little chap. But no, doctors, that's really frustrating. If you'd have said to me beforehand who was going to be the biggest, if you'd have asked me about someone else's kid and I didn't know anything about this process, I would have suggested that the school would probably be more difficult than the doctors, and that in some instances the parents would be just as much a problem. But I feel like, not about anyone specific, but I just mean just knowing what to do. Whereas I feel like in this situation, we made one mistake, but it wasn't that big of a deal. The school have been pretty good, although they're really hamstrung, and the doctors have been a blooming nightmare. And I'm just like, oh, okay, fair enough. But hopefully I'll have a decent update tomorrow. I'll do a proper video, and hopefully we'll have some feedback from the phone call that I'm going to make. Or if she even answers, she might ring me back in like a week or something stupid. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any advice would be great. I feel like I'd love to know whether there's a way to go private if this keeps being a problem and still get the HCP sorted. I feel like we can't. Someone said they won't allow it, they won't accept it. But there must be an alternative. I just want to get around this doctor now, but I'm guessing she's the only doctor in Lincolnshire or something dumb, because that's probably the case with quite a weird county. But anyway, gonna wrap up. Thanks for watching. You know, all the usual stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, bye.